Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of a new series, the successor to Dexventure TCG. So in this video series, I will be collecting, up to a certain extent, my favorite card of each Pokemon. Now, to start, at the moment, I am just going to be collecting the Kanto Pokemon through the Galar Pokemon, because the Paldea Pokemon haven't gotten enough cards yet for me to really get a good consideration in, and some Paldea Pokemon haven't even gotten cards yet. But later down the line, I will be collecting the Paldea Pokemon. So, doing this in National Pokedex order, without exceptions. Putting them in this Pokeball-themed binder. Figured that'd be appropriate, because this is kind of like the Pokedex. Or the Pokedex is kind of like a Pokeball. Take your pick. So, just gonna weigh that down real quick, with that tin that I just had on hand. Time to start with, the very first Pokemon, Bulbasaur. So, Bulbasaur is Pokemon number 001. And I have chosen Bulbasaur number... Come on, camera. You got it. You can focus. Come on. Come on, you got it. Oh my goodness. Camera just does not want to do this whole focusing thing, does it? Hey, there we go. Now this is Bulbasaur from Detective Pikachu. It is number 1 out of 18 in the set. It is considered a common despite having a hollow pattern. And it was illustrated by MPC Film. Now, I believe all the Detective Pikachu sets, or all the Detective Pikachu cards, are just screenshots from the movie. And I believe a lot of the cards from the Detective Pikachu set will be my favorite cards of each Pokemon, because I think this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I do like the art style of Detective Pikachu, and as a movie, I thought it was great. So this is the first, Bulbasaur. It's got the Find a Friend tech. I believe this is actually the optimal Bulbasaur to play in Gym Leader Challenge, which is kind of cool because of how good Find a Friend is, and just 1 retreat cost is pretty good. There's no free retreat cost Bulbasaur. It's got 60 HP. Ugh. 60 HP, not half bad. Its Pokedex entry reads, a strange seed was planted on its back at birth. The plant sprouts and grows with this Pokemon, which kind of teases its next evolutions for anyone who doesn't know what a Bulbasaur evolves into in Generation 7. Late Generation 7 as well. So that's kind of cool. Don't know why I'm showing the back. I guess for condition. Oh, it's got whitening there. No, not my PSA 10. Pretty good Pokemon. Like I said, I like the art style of Detective Pikachu, and I think the way it's like rounding this corner, holding out its vine, makes it look kind of nice, and it does sort of got like a slight smile going, makes it look nice and happy, very cute with the big old eyes as well. Yeah, I just like the Detective Pikachu cards. I don't know. There's Bulbasaur. Going in as number 0001 in the National Pokedex. And that is the first of a few things. It's the first Generation 7 card in here. It is the first Grass-type Pokemon in here. It's the first basic Pokemon. It's the first... I'm trying to think of stuff that isn't just incredibly boring. It's not super unique, but the first Gen 7 Pokemon being added is kind of cool. Kind of surprising, considering Gen 7 is my least favorite generation for the games, and probably my least favorite generation for the TCG, other than maybe Generation 1. No, it's kind of a hot take, but I don't think the artwork from that era was all that great for a lot of them. Like, the gym sets had pretty good artwork, but other than that, yeah. Yeah. So moving on to number 2, Ivysaur. Now, this is Ivysaur from Pokemon Go, and there's a few reasons I like this card. Now, first of all, the artwork is great. It features Ivysaur at a Pokestop with a lure module applied. You can tell because the little petals out there. Unclaimed Pokestop by its trainer at the moment, presumably its trainer. A nice touch is that there's 3 Pokemon surrounding it, being Bidoof, Numel, and Spinarak. Now, if you don't know a lot about the Pokemon Go set, that doesn't really mean anything. However, there was a gimmick in Pokemon Go where certain Pokemon, you could peel them away. Certain reverse hollows, you could peel away a sticker on the front, and it would be revealed to be a Ditto. And the 3 Pokemon that could be Ditto were Bidoof, Numel, and Spinarak. So it's kind of cool how these 3 Pokemon are together. It's got the attack Summoning Aroma, which I believe is actually, this is also the optimal Ivysaur for GLC, which is kind of fun how I picked both of them. It is card number, come on, there we go, 2 out of 78 in the Pokemon Go set, illustrated by Zig. Pokedex entry, when the bulb on its back grows large, it appears to lose the ability to stand on its hind legs. I think that might be a reference to Ivysaur's Gen 1 sprite, at least one of the Gen 1 sprites, where it was actually on its hind legs, and it looked very strange. It doesn't really stand on its hind legs a lot in the newer game. See, it's got the Pokemon Go stamp there. That's, yeah, I don't love that about Pokemon Go. I really like Pokemon Go as a set. The stamp on most of the cards is kind of not a huge fan. Now, part of the reason I'm like this card is because the artwork, which is the reason that most of the cards are coming in here, but also because I kind of have a story around it. So I opened a lot of Pokemon Go. Like the first Card Fridays was like a Bulbasaur collection set kind of thing for Pokemon Go. And the first probably at least 5, I'm not checking, episodes of Card Fridays were Pokemon Go themed, and that's because I wanted to get a complete set of Pokemon Go. Now, as of recording, I'm still missing 1 card in my set, and that's Rainbow Melmetal VMAX, but I'll get it at some point. And so I opened a lot of Pokemon Go, and when I was putting all my Pokemon Go cards into a binder so I could, keep track of them, I noticed I didn't have an Ivysaur. Now, at this point, I had opened probably close to 40 packs of Pokemon Go. If you look right here, you can see that Ivysaur is just an uncommon card. So it took me an incredibly long time to find this Ivysaur. And not only is it an uncommon, which is very strange that I didn't pull it after that many packs, but also, it's in Pokemon Go, where there are 78 non-secret cards. That is not a lot of uncommons I could get with, 3 or 4 per pack, I think. Crazy. Not even a reverse holo either, which gives me another chance per pack. So that's going, focus, nice, into the binder here. So Ivysaur, first Gen 8 Pokemon. Not really part of any gimmicks. Next Pokemon, number 3, Venusaur, is part of a gimmick. Woohoo! So, this is Venusaur EX from, it's on the other side of the card because it's older, XY Evolutions, number 1 out of 108 in that set. Hey, it's the Spiritomb number. Spiritomb confirmed? No way? Smash Bro? Spiritomb confirmed for Smash? Yeah, so, I really like the EXs as a gimmick, both capital and lowercase. I think they're both great. Bulbasaur card wasn't in there properly. It was bugging me. And they both have very similar styles, but I like how specifically this Venusaur is jumping out of the frame, which a lot of the, especially capital EXs did this, but I really like how the artist, is it 5-bit? No, it's not. It is Isuke Yoshinobu. Yoshinobu? Looks like Yoshinobu. Really like how Isuke Yoshinobu illustrated like the Venusaur jumping out. Looks like it's trying to chomp or maybe tackle or jungle hammer something. So that's pretty cool. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I'm just kind of biased for EXs because they're very nostalgic for me. And I actually pulled this back in the day. I opened quite a bit of XY evolutions, and I managed to pull this, which is only like a few bucks, but it is very cool. And Venusaur is my favorite out of the Kanto starters, so that's fun. So this Venusaur EX is the first Gen 6 card, is the first EX, is the first gimmick card, first card to give up multiple prizes. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Also, because it's a uppercase EX, it is a basic, meaning this specific instance of Venusaur technically does not evolve from Ivysaur, although I believe that you are still allowed to evolve uppercase EXs from their stage 1s or basics that they would have evolved from if they were the regular version of that Pokemon. There's just really no reason to. At least TCG Online used to allow it. I don't know if that was a mistake. So here's card number 4, Squirtle. Now, this is the Squirtle from Team Up. Number... almost there. Yeah, number 23 of 181, illustrated by Haganosuke. Now, Haganosuke does a lot of cards, especially in like the Scarlet Violet era. And I really like their art style. Also Pokedex entry for this one. There wasn't for the Venusaur because it's a gimmick or a rule box. It shelters itself in its shell, then strikes back with spouts of water at every opportunity. Look at how happy he is. Look at this Squirtle. This Squirtle is having the time of his life, running down this beautiful looking hill, this beautiful art style, or like the kind of 2D art style, kind of cartoony, the shadow, the grass kind of being picked up here. It's all just a very beautiful picture. Just kind of makes me happy. Don't have much more of a reason than that. So, first water type. That's about the only interesting thing about Squirtle. Next up is Pokemon number 5, Wartortle. This is level 28, which means it has not evolved too early, or has been kept from evolution. This is from the set Diamond and Pearl Secret Wonders. It is card number 75 at 132 in the set, illustrated by Ken Sugimori. It is said to live 10,000 years. Its furry tail is popular as symbol of longevity. So, what's up with this, right? There's not like a ton of Wartortle cards that I think look really good, and Ken Sugimori, if you didn't know, is basically the guy who does pretty much all of the Pokemon like stock image kind of artworks, the kind of default artworks for the Pokemon, and he also does like designs, like I think he designed Gengar, for example. And I really like his art style. For example, this picture of Squirtle and also Wartortle and also Squirtle in the corner there was made for, I believe, Fire Red and Leaf Green. Originally for Red and Blue, he did make official artworks of the Pokemon, same with Gold and Silver, but they were in a different sort of watercolor art style, so they were remade again for Fire Red, Leaf Green, and the Gen 2 ones were remade for Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So that's kind of like an interesting thing, how this is the second official artwork for Wartortle. Yeah, I like how the stock artwork looks. I think he looks sort of playfully mean, playfully angry. And I like the beach background on this one. There's a lot of artworks where it's just kind of the Pokemon slapped onto a background with Ken Sugimori's artwork. But I think this is one of the ones that does it best, with the ground still wet from the last time the waves swept in, and the wave creeping back, the sand. I don't know if that's like a stain on my card or if it's meant to look like that. Trees in the background. It looks like an actual photo with like a filter applied to it, and it very well could be. Yeah. There's War Turtle, our first Generation 4 card for this. Yeah. So next up is Pokemon number 6, Blastoise. Now this Blastoise is really good. It's got an ability called Deluge that reads, as often as you like during your turn before you attack, you may attach a water energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Now this ability is a callback to the Rain Dance Pokemon power on the very first Blastoise card in base set, and that was a very good deck archetype back in that time, probably the second best behind Haymaker. And yeah, they like printing callbacks to Rain Dance. There's also recently in the at time of filming second to newest set, Scarlet and Violet Paldea Evolved. There's a Baxcalibur with the same ability, and this is probably the best Blastoise card that they printed in the sort of modern era since Black and White, as in like Legal Fur Expanded and also GLC, which is better than Expanded. And this is very good in GLC. It's not really used so much anymore because the Baxcalibur is just kind of better. It's got more health, less retreat cost, got a better attack, a less common weakness. It's just kind of better. And I do like the Baxcalibur. I do use it in my Chiampao deck, which is currently my main deck. Love playing the guy. Yeah, no complaints here. This is from Plasma Blast, number 16 of 101. The jets of water it spouts from the rocket cannon on its shell can punch through thick steel. Oh yeah, illustrated by Satoshi Shirai. So the artwork itself is really cool. So it's sort of looking ferocious, kind of slashing through water with its claw hand thing there. The water's sprouting all over the place. Kind of makes you think, oh, did this shoot the water, or is it just kind of going through it? Is it fighting another water type? There's this kind of bit to the imagination there, and that's exciting. I'm waxing poetic here. I just think it looks cool. I like how angry it looks, and he's splashing the water. Woo! Yeah. This is a hollow one. I think they're all hollow. I think this might be some kind of promo hollow pattern, because if I just take it out of the sleeve real quick, it's fine. It's not in very good condition anyways. See if, oh, that does not get picked up on the camera super well. But it does have like the little dots, which I believe the default sort of hollow pattern for the black and white sets was horizontal straight lines, which were then turned into diagonal straight lines for X and Y sets, diagonal straight lines going the other way for Sun and Moon sets, and then vertical straight lines for Sword and Shield sets. So, yeah, I don't know what this is from, to be honest, and I don't really care about the hollow pattern, because they all look cool. Is Blastoise going through water, looking all mean? Of course it's going to look cool. So Blastoise is the first Generation 5 card here. Next up is probably my favorite card out of the first episode. I absolutely love it. It's the most popular Kanto starter, although it's only my second favorite. Pokemon number 7, Charmander. Now this is a very, very new card. At time of filming, it's been out for 10 days. Yeah, so very new. This was a promo that came in the Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer box. Yeah, it is over here. Scarlet Violet promo number 44, illustrated by Mina Minami Taki. I'm, like, butchering all these names. They're all Japanese names, pretty much, unsurprisingly. From the time it's born, a flame burns on the tip of its tail. Its life would end if this flame were to go out. So, yeah, kind of a messed up Charmander fact that everyone knows at this point. It's actually one of the main theories for Cubone. The main two theories are basically it is a Kangaskhan baby that lost its mom, or it is a Charmander where the tail burnt out, but it somehow survived, because the skull, Marowak's skull, looks a lot like Charizard's skull, but it also looks like Kangaskhan's skull. I think the Kangaskhan theory makes more sense and is more canonically recognized, but the Charmander one makes a decent amount of sense, too. So the artwork, this is the first card here that little me would call full art, because it's all over the card. Not actually what that means. I think this is technically considered a promo alternate art or something, because it is mechanically the same as the regular Charmander from Obsidian Flames. But I mean, just look at it. There's a Charmander chilling in the window, looking incredibly mad at this Pidgey, and the Pidgey's looking back at him. He's like, yeah, I don't care. There's a window there. Don't know how the Pidgey knows the window's there, because birds can't see glass. Maybe Pidgey can see glass, and that's why it's different from a regular bird. Because that's, like, the only thing I can think of to make it different. There's also another Pidgey chilling here on, like, a sort of lawn chair. Like an older lawn chair, plants growing on it. It just looks like a very nice yard. I can imagine, like, an old lady living here with her pet Charmander. It's just very cute artwork, and I think it sort of illustrates the Charmander's line's personality, with looking angry but still very cute, because it is just a Charmander. I am not used to talking for this long straight in YouTube videos. So that's the first Scarlet Violet card in the list in the binder. And also the first card to take up where the artwork takes up the whole card. Next up is Pokemon number 8, Charmeleon. I also really like this artwork. It is from Platinum Arceus. It is card number 35 of 99 in the set, and illustrated by Sumiyoshi Kizuki. In the Rocky Mountains where Charmeleon live, their fiery tail shines at night like stars. Now, the all-capital Charmeleon there may just be because it might have been copy-pasted from one of the games. In the games before Black and White, Pokemon and character, and I think location names as well, were always fully capitalized, which just looked really bad, but that's just how they did it for whatever reason. And, yeah, because this is a Generation 4 card, that's probably what it comes from. So, speaking of the Rocky Mountains in the Pokedex entry, here's all those Rocky Mountains. Very flat, colored style, and while I usually don't like cards that have a lot of flat colors on them, I feel like this one has enough variety between the Charmander, its fire, its belly, its eyes, the mountains, the water, and sort of the background, the sun and the sky itself. There's a lot of colors, even if the colors are a bit flat. So very nice looking card, really like it. And next comes the last card for the video. The big man. Oh god, I forgot to put this in the sleeve. The big man himself, every 4-year-old's favorite, including mine when I was younger. I used to like this Pokemon more than Venusaur, but I have gotten better. Charizard, the hype beast himself, another Pokemon Go card. Now, this is not my all-time favorite Charizard card. One of the specifications for this challenge was that I had to use the base form of every Pokemon for its card. So no Shinies, no Megas, no Gigantamax forms, nothing, no regional forms, nothing like that. I really like the Charizard VMAX that comes in the Charizard Ultra Premium collection, but that is a Gigantamax Charizard, so it does not count. I might go for a Form Dex at some point, probably not, but I might. And if I do, you can know that that is the Charizard VMAX I will use. But Pokemon Go Charizard is illustrated by N Design Inc. It is card number 10 of 78 in Pokemon Go. It spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders. It may cause forest fires by blowing flames. No way. So this Charizard's got an interesting ability where it essentially doubles the value of every basic fire energy attached to any Pokemon. And it is quite helpful in a lot of Fire GLC decks, including Fire Mill GLC, which is a deck that I like playing. But that's not why I like this Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, I really do like the Burn Brightly ability's effect. But, oh my god, I am feeling the pain right now. It is 26 minutes into recording, and I'm coughing. I'm going to try to wrap this up. So, it is, of course, from Pokemon Go, as you can tell by the stamp, and obviously the set symbol. It is flying through the city here. I want to kind of zoom in here so you can see. It is one of the Pokemon Go cards where it's designed to look like it's in the real world, like this is just a picture of a city. I wonder what city it is. Or maybe it's not a picture and it's just generated meant to look like a city. But if it is real city, it'd be cool if we knew like what city it was. This building looks like a hospital to me for some reason, probably because the little bit of red right there. So yeah, I think it looks good. I think it would have been a kind of cool touch to have some Pokemon on the street down there, but the cards are fine. And I like this artwork because it sort of reminds me of Detective Pikachu in a way. And like I said before, I like Detective Pikachu, and there is a Charizard in this movie. In that movie, it doesn't look like. Oh my god! I just realized I did Charizard and Blastoise in the wrong order. Well. Oops. I'm not re-recording all that. I will reorder the binder in a moment. Just looked at this, and I saw number 006, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, God. Oops. Yeah, anyways, there is a Charizard in that movie, although it doesn't look like this, it's in the Detective Pikachu style. And there is a scene at the end of the movie where there's Pokemon flying around the city, and that's Mewtwo flying around the city. I don't think there's ever a part where it shows a shot of a Charizard, anything like this, but I think my brain just kind of confined, oh yeah, Charizard and Detective Pikachu, and flying around the city, and sort of made a picture like this, which is why this card reminds me of the movie, even though it's nothing like the movie. So, that shouldn't have been the final Pokemon of the video, but it was, so I screwed up. Whoops. Just reordering it now. Yeah, that was kind of an oopsie daisies. So, I guess that kind of reorders some stuff, doesn't it? This makes Charmander, the first Generation 9 Pokemon, which I didn't change actually, but it makes Charmeleon the first Generation 4 card. Charizard is not the first Gen 8. Blastoise is still the first Gen 5. Yeah. So, that's the video, baby. Oh, also that means Charizard is the first regular, oh, never mind, it's Bulbasaur. That's the video. I'm going to try to take my phone off the camera stand. Okay, when I did that, I accidentally hit stop recording. But, just kind of get a shot of the page, the evolution lines together. What is reflecting there? Okay, whatever. So here's the Bulbasaur line, the Charmander line, Squirtle line, and my light's reflecting, but can't really do much about that. And yeah, that is going to wrap up the first episode of Dexventure TCG. There they are right there on the playmat. Yeah, I will see you in the next one.